Grossmont College was definitely an unexpected one. When I graduated from high school, I graduated at the top of my class. And at that time in my life, I had gotten into 14 different universities. I ended up committing to UC Irvine. And not too long after attending the orientation at UC Irvine, I got really sick. And so I had to come back to San Diego early. And after months of testing and different hospitalizations, I was diagnosed with a condition that eventually led to severe permanent loss of vision. So now I'm actually legally blind. And since I was so sick, I had to unenroll from UC Irvine because they wouldn't allow me to do a medical leave of absence. They told me that I'll just have to reapply. But since there was such a steep learning curve about what my world will look like after acquiring a disability and kind of relearning what my form of independence will look like, I was just in no position to move to Irvine. So that's when I decided to start college at Grossmont. So I wasn't initially supposed to go to Grossmont, but I'm really glad I ended up there because I made so many meaningful connections. I call them my support buddies. Definitely the Accessibility Resource Center. There was Janet and Terry and the testing center who were always just smiling faces, which really helped calm my anxiety right before I went to go take an exam. And then there's the Assistive Technology Center, which is a center at Grossmont that has a bunch of different computers and printers and other technology that's specifically meant to help people who are living with disabilities. When I first started, my family was low income, which was another reason why it was quite hard adjusting to living with a disability, because there was assistive technology that I needed that we couldn't necessarily afford. My dad got a new job and started making more money, but on paper, he only has a total of 4 dependents, but at the time there were 8 people living in my household. And so although on paper it looked like my dad was making a lot of money and only taking care of 4 people, there's actually a total of 8 people in our household that the income has to split between. And that made me ineligible for a lot of financial resources. So my parents had to struggle to pay for my college out of pocket, which I am aware that community college is more affordable than other institutions. But when you have to pay for your classes on a payment plan and it's still several $100s coming out of your pocket, it's really difficult to cope with. Currently at UC San Diego. I'll be graduating with my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology with a specialization in social psychology. So right now I've secured a position for after I graduate with the National Conflict Resolution Center. And specifically, I'll be a trainer for diversity, equity, and inclusion, which makes me really happy because I'm really passionate about making things more accessible for people in general, but specifically students of color. Because me having triple oppressed identities in terms of being a Black woman living with a disability, there's just a lot of educational barriers that I've had to deal with that I want to make things better for students in the future so that they don't have to deal with that as often or at all. And I know I'm willing to put in the work. So I'm really excited to have this position with NCRC. I think that it's a great thing not only to give back, but to share the knowledge so that people don't have to either make the same mistakes you did or that they can get to where you are because you got to where you are today off of other people helping you. So I think that you helping other people and giving back would be great because that's what I plan to do.